Hello, everyone. My name is Ayodumomi Adekomi. Welcome to another episode of Mind Shifts. Of course, you know how we do it. We tell good stories to inspire you to do the things that inspire you. Today will be a very special edition. I have someone in the studio with me. I'd listened to him before now. He talked about building ourselves, and I really think we need to take that conversation one step further. And today I have with me Mr. Tochukwu Ejibendo. Okay, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Ayo.
Okay, so for the purpose of our audience, can we meet you?
Okay, my name is Tochukwu Ejibendo.
Amazing.
I'm a father. I'm a husband.
Thank God you're not a wife.
I'm an educator.
Okay.
I've been in the education industry for over 9 years now. I've worked in schools. I've worked with schools. I've consulted for schools, and I'm still in the education industry. Most importantly, I'm a Christian.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you so much for the heads up. Okay, so what was, at least I've listened to your story before, but for the purpose of those watching for the first time, and of course, I'm going to put a link to that session in the description below. So if you'd like to watch that session again, I'll be so honored. So you can have a good grasp of what we're talking about today. So what was growing up like for you, and how did it affect you? As you journeyed, how did it affect your person and your personality?
Okay, I grew up from the southeast of the country, Anambra, Onitsha to be precisely.
Okay.
So you can rightly say I'm an Onitsha boy, an Igbo boy. All right. So I grew up from a family of 5 boys. Yeah.
I can imagine what kind of
course.
I should come and take tutorial from your mom.
Energy levels and all that without having a lady or experiencing the calmness of a lady. All the energy is all out there.
I can relate.
Yes. And back then it was bad. I'm talking about the moral level. Although it's worse now, but it was bad. You had street gangs, you had school gangs, you have teenagers and young adults into smoking, robbery, fighting, and all manner of sorts. Growing up, I think I remember when I got into junior secondary school, in my first 2 weeks, I was already using pens and bottles to fight in school.
Wow.
Yes,
wow.
It was that bad. And you just have to have your street rep up with your fighting level and all these things.
Okay.
So that was it. And about my family, like I said, all boys, I was looking up to my siblings. In fact, I looked up to one of my siblings. He's late now. We lost him to the now dysfunctional SARS. He was killed by the now dysfunctional SARS.
Okay.
And you could tell why.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of the bad life. So I looked up to him. He was my role model there.
Amazing.
So I was going about living the bad life, the thug life. I was looking up
So
to
you had a mentor.
Yeah, one like him, And in my family, I'm thankful to God and to my parents that they tried. They did the best they knew how to do.
Okay.
Yeah, to providing our physical needs.
Okay. Emphasis on physical.
Yeah, physical needs.
Okay.
They provided us with food, even though the food is not everything I wanted or the type of food I wanted.
Okay.
But food, education. I never got out of school because school fees were unpaid and all that. So they did that, and I'm very thankful for them, to them for that. However, while growing up, I realized that I was lacking some intangible needs
Okay.
that I should have gotten from a family, from a home.
Okay.
I never
Such
had
as,
that
oh,
connection with my siblings.
okay.
I never had that bond with my parents. I can hardly remember having any intimate conversation with my parents or my siblings. Growing up, I saw my siblings as my hostel mates,
Okay.
and then my parents as the hostel wardens. You know, they are there to punish you when you do something wrong,
Wow.
and they are just there to nod when you are just doing the right
Something
thing.
well, yeah.
Nothing
No
special.
connection at all.
Nothing special at
So how
all.
about the typical thing to pick from the environments growing up in that kind
I'm
of
still
place?
coming there.
Okay.
So, of course, you know, Igbo people, the accent when they talk.
I didn't say that. You said that.
The accent when they talk. So I must emphasize the fact that I went to a grammar school. In fact,
Okay.
one of the best schools around then. I emphasis on grammar school.
Grammar school. Okay.
But it's quite ironical that in a grammar school we didn't speak English.
Amazing.
So even some
It's
of
a
our
grammar school indeed.
yeah, even some of our teachers taught us with our local dialects.
Okay.
Now we are good in writing,
Okay.
but not good with the speaking and communication.
Okay.
You understand? And apart from the communication in English, picked up so many bad habits because of the gang thing. You know, you just have to represent. You are so
Yeah.
loose. You walk in a pattern that shows that you are a gang
Oh
member
God.
and all that. You are so roused. You know, you use slangs and vulgar. At some point in time,
Let me sorry to interrupt you. When the first time I heard you speak about this, the first thing that came to my mind was I was trying to picture you 10, 15
years
years
ago.
ago, and I looked at the kind of wife you marry today,
Yeah.
sweet, beautiful sister, and I asked myself that if this sister had met the version
no way,
10
no way,
years
no
ago,
way, no way.
I doubted if, no, I don't even see it happening.
I wouldn't have a chance. Not
Okay,
at all.
well, good that you finally had a chance. So I'm going to ask,
Yeah.
at what point did you decide I needed to work on myself? I needed to work on how I speak. I needed to work on how, the gaits, the movement. I needed to work on these things. What happened? What happened?
Turning
Why?
point.
Yeah, what was the turning point for you?
Okay. While I was still in the East, I didn't feel any need to change.
Of course, you were with your people, and you were just
and that still happens now. A typical person from the East wouldn't feel any need to change how they communicate because they are all about the money.
Yeah.
And all that, and it's still very much present now, and it just needs to change. So I gave my life to Christ sometime in 2006.
Okay.
And after that, I started that spiritual journey.
Okay.
And getting to study the Bible opened my eyes to that the spiritual journey cuts across the spiritual, the physical, and the intellectual part.
Okay.
So I began to realize that I didn't just need to develop my spirit, I need to develop my soul, my mind.
Yeah.
And then I need to work on my body. Yes.
Okay.
And that made me to start sourcing for information on how I can develop these aspects of my life. And it was coincidental that as at that time, I also got admission into school.
Okay.
And it was a change of environment for me.
Absolutely.
So I got admission into the university. The funny thing is that it wouldn't take you 2 minutes having a conversation with me as at that time to know that this guy is Igbo. because the accent was just there. Everything was flat, the exclamations. Hey, yeah, come and see this thing, all those, they were all just there.
Okay.
So I told myself, "Ah, man, I need to do something about this. I just needed to change. I just needed to change. Yeah. So it was getting to receive the Lord into my heart that brought
Okay.
about all this transformation.
Okay. So yes, the journey started when you accepted Christ.
Yeah.
You also realized that transformation is not just spiritual, but that's what I see today.
No.
People pray 24 hours a day, if possible, and at the same time, they're not giving so much to their mental strength.
Yeah,
They're not giving attention to how they even look physically. And so, how did you achieve this practically? Like you said, so practical things you did. Can you share with us
Well,
practical things you did to achieve that change you desired?
yeah, I'm gonna keep it simple. Realizing that I needed to transform.
Okay.
I mean, uh, I had a picture of what God wanted to do with me and in my life,
Okay.
and I realized that I needed to improve myself so I can match up with where God is taking me. So transformation of the mind has to do with knowledge. So I went on a quest for knowledge.
Okay.
I started reading books.
Wow.
I had a whole stack of novels, foreign novels, well-written novels that I started reading. I read, I write, I talk to myself in the mirror. I started listening to BBC News.
Okay.
I'm not a sucker for news, but I just had to do that. I dished away our local Nollywood movies.
Okay.
So I started listening to movies, British movies, Harry Potter, and all that, Peter Pan.
Wow.
I enrolled in classes, online classes, where speaking English, diction, and all that. I read dictionaries over and over again.
I can imagine. For someone to really take up a dictionary to read
because
and
I
read.
felt the need. I needed to know how words are pronounced and the rule behind these words.
Oh.
Yes. So I did all that.
What did you do about the movement? Because
so
I don't know whether so I don't know whether the reading changed the movement.
No, the reading didn't change the movement because I had to practically always demonstrate how I walk, and it's more like you are reformatting a system. So I had to be intentional and deliberate, not to bounce when I'm walking. So sometimes in my closet, when I'm alone, I'm just right there in front of the mirror and I'm walking. And I'm telling myself, you need to coordinate yourself very well.
Like, this is funny.
No, it's funny, but it's real. I had to train myself on how to pronounce the R sound properly.
Wow.
And not mix it up with L. Come on, with the Igbo guys. Bread is bled.
Okay.
And all that. So I could go like
wow.
The CH and the SH.
I feel for you.
I did all that. It took me time, but I was doing it.
Okay.
Close friends knew that I was doing something for myself.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just get bored about it. I say, what are you trying to do? Who are you trying to impress and all that? And I will tell them, I'm not trying to impress anyone. I'm trying to improve myself.
Yeah.
I'm trying to improve myself.
So this is what I can pick from what you've said so far. You had a picture of who God wanted you to be.
Absolutely.
And you began asking, what do I need to do to become this person God wants me to be? Yeah, because so many of us say, this is who I am.
Accept me the way I am.
Yeah, just accept me the way I am. This is how we used to do in our family. This is how we behave, where I come from, But we are not just earthly citizens. Yeah. We are heavenly citizens. So there is a way God wants us to be. We are human beings. There is a way God wants us to be.
Exactly.
And I see that you took intentional steps.
Of course.
Not just praying, but you took practical steps to achieve
Achieving it.
your needed or desired transformation. And so I would say that having done all of this, would you say it paid off? I mean, coming from where you were, where you are, and where you want to be, was it worth it? I mean, your friends are like, who are you trying to impress? So thinking about who you were, who you are, and who you still desire to be, because success is a journey and not just a destination, So would you say that it paid off at the end of the day? Or has it paid off for you? Is it worth it?
Well, I will say this and say it to you over and over again. It paid off. It keeps paying. And it's still paying.
Yeah, and it will continue to pay.
Yeah, of course, definitely. Why? Because I am where I am today because I worked on myself. I'm not just talking about speaking well or communicating well or being able to speak in the public and all that.
Yeah.
No, but I'm talking about I invested in myself.
Yeah, I think it's a whole lot of mental renewal.
Thing.
Yeah.
It cuts across every aspect of your life.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be in the education industry if I was who I was 10, 15, 20 years ago. In fact, 25 years ago, I wouldn't be in the education industry. And I can bet you there are some industries I wouldn't even venture into because I wouldn't fit in.
Yeah.
But right now, I could fit into every environment. I could talk to any number of people, any class of people with no much fuzz.
Yeah.
Like you said, my wife, I wouldn't even stand a chance with my wife if I met her 25 years ago and all that. So
if she met the version of you 25 years ago,
she wouldn't even give me a listening ear and all that. And the most appealing part is that I'm happy with myself. I'm very much happy with myself.
So there is that sense of
fulfillment,
personal fulfillment,
accomplishment that you've changed. You've gone a long way.
Yeah.
You weren't where you used to be before.
Amazing. I just want to use this moment to invite you all to Purpose Conference 2024. It's coming up December 7th, and I will put the link to the registration in the description. Ensure you register. Ensure you invite someone in your personal space to register. We're going to be having rich conversations around purpose, vision, and identity. And I bet you don't want to miss it. So
I will tell you this, and I will tell you this over and over and over again. There is no greater investment that you can make in this world than investing in yourself. You're doing it for yourself. When you do that, you can become anything you want to become. And it pays. I will say it again. It pays. The sacrifice, the time, the chances, the alternative for gone, and everything that you put in and investing in yourself is worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
And for today, it's a wrap. Thank you for staying. Thank you for listening. I hope you learned something. And perhaps you want to share one or two thoughts. Feel free to drop your comments in the description below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Bye.